6 meters beneath the Mediterranean Sea, there is an entire city. Not ruins, not fragments. An entire city. Streets still paved, statues still standing, mosaics still on the walls of buildings that have been underwater for 1,500 years. This was ancient Rome's most scandalous and most dangerous city, a place so full of excess and dark secrets that the Romans themselves called it a place of moral destruction, and the sea swallowed it whole. This is Baiae. Welcome back to Curiosity Vault, where we unlock the world's darkest secrets. If it's your first time coming across my channel, do well to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Today, we are going underwater, not to the deep ocean, not to a shipwreck, but to an entire Roman city sitting 6 meters below the Mediterranean, a city Julius Caesar, Nero, and Cicero all called home, and a story that gets darker the deeper you go. What is Baiae? I know that's the question you are meaning to ask. So, at the height of the Roman Empire, Baiae was considered more prestigious than Rome itself. It sat on the volcanic coast of the Gulf of Naples, directly above one of the most geologically active volcanic zones in Europe. The volcanic activity beneath it heated the ground naturally, creating thermal springs that made the entire area feel like a natural spa year-round. The Romans built elaborate bathhouses directly over these thermal vents, and the wealthiest people in the ancient world built their villas along its coastline. Julius Caesar, Cicero, the emperors Augustus, Nero, and Hadrian, all of them had homes in Baiae. But Baiae was not just a place of luxury. It was a place of scandal. Roman writers described it as a place where normal rules did not apply, where senators behaved in ways they would never dare in Rome, where political deals were made in thermal baths and secrets were traded over wine. The philosopher Seneca wrote that he always came back from Baiae a worse person than when he left. It was Rome's Las Vegas, its playground, its place of excess. And like all places built on excess, it was living on borrowed time. But that's only half the story, because the reason Baiae disappeared wasn't war or invasion. It was something far more unsettling, and it is still happening today. And here's how Baiae sank. Beneath the Phlegraean Fields sits a massive supervolcanic system, one of the most closely monitored geological zones in Europe. The activity of this system causes a phenomenon called bradyseism, a slow, gradual sinking of the ground caused by magma and hydrothermal fluids moving underground. In Baiae's case, the ground sank, slowly, over centuries, a few centimeters per decade, then faster. The Romans noticed their coastline changing. Villas that had once sat safely above the waterline found their lower floors flooding. Streets found themselves below sea level. By the 8th century, as the Roman Empire had already collapsed, Baiae was largely abandoned, and the sea continued to rise. But here is what makes Baiae extraordinary. Because it sank slowly rather than being destroyed suddenly, much of it is intact. The buildings didn't collapse, they sank in place. The statues didn't topple, they settled gently onto the seafloor. The mosaics on the walls of Roman villas are still there, still visible, preserved by cold, dark water for 15 centuries. Baiae didn't die, it just moved underwater. What divers found next changed everything historians thought they knew about Roman daily life. The first archaeological surveys of submerged Baiae began in the 1950s. Divers descended into the waters of the Gulf of Naples expecting scattered ruins. What they found stopped them completely. An entire urban landscape, preserved, intact, silent. Streets paved with the same stones Roman citizens walked on 2,000 years ago. Villa walls still standing several meters high. Doorways still intact. Columns still upright. And the statues. Dozens of marble statues, gods, emperors, mythological figures, standing and lying across the seafloor exactly where they settled as the city sank. Some still on their original pedestals. The faces of Roman emperors staring upward through 6 meters of water at the surface above them. The thermal baths were the most extraordinary discovery. The mosaic floors that wealthy Romans had walked on in their sandals were still there, geometric patterns still visible, colors still partially preserved despite 15 centuries underwater. One mosaic depicts an elaborate hunting scene, Animals, hunters, detailed figures spread across a floor that no human foot had touched since the city sank. The Italian government classified the entire area as an underwater archaeological park in 2002. Access is strictly controlled. You need a permit, a licensed guide. You cannot touch anything. You cannot take anything because what is down there is irreplaceable. It is the only intact submerged Roman city on Earth. The strangest discovery came decades later, when scientists turned their attention not to what was in the water above Baiae, but to what was moving beneath it. The Campi Flegrei supervolcano has never fully gone to sleep. Since the 1950s, scientists have been monitoring ground movement in the region, and what they recorded is deeply concerning. The ground has been rising. In 2012, Italian authorities raised the alert level from green to yellow. In 2023, it was raised again to orange. The ground in the nearby town of Pozzuoli has risen over 1.2 meters since 2005 alone. Earthquakes in the region have been increasing in frequency and intensity. Scientists are careful to say eruption is not necessarily imminent, but they also note that the last time the system erupted in 1538, it created an entirely new mountain in a matter of days, and that was a minor eruption compared to what this system is capable of. The underwater ruins of Baiae, perfectly preserved for 1,500 years, sit directly above one of the most dangerous volcanic systems in Europe. The same forces that sank the city are building again beneath it, and nobody can say with certainty what happens next. But beneath the luxury, the scandal, and the volcanic threat, Baiae was also the site of one of the most chilling political crimes in all of Roman history. And here's the dark history behind Baiae. Did you know that Emperor Nero attempted to murder his own mother at Baiae? In 59 AD, Nero had grown tired of his mother Agrippina, a powerful woman who had helped him rise to power and now threatened to overshadow him. He invited her to Baiae for a celebration. Then he put her on a boat he had specifically designed to sink. The boat collapsed in the middle of the Gulf of Naples, but Agrippina, a strong swimmer, survived. She swam to shore. When Nero received the news, he sent assassins to finish the task. She was killed that night. The villa where Nero stayed during this episode, where he planned his mother's murder, sat on the coastline of Baiae. Today it is underwater. The walls where Nero plotted, the floors where he paced waiting for news, the rooms where one of Rome's most chilling acts of political violence was conceived, 6 meters below the surface of the Mediterranean, preserved, silent, waiting. Baiae is officially a protected archaeological park, a controlled access zone managed by the Italian government. But it is also something more. It is a reminder that civilizations, no matter how powerful, no matter how wealthy, no matter how permanent they seem, are always temporary. Rome was the greatest empire the ancient world had ever seen. Its citizens built Baiae as a monument to their own greatness, and the ground beneath it simply sank. Not because of war, not because of conquest, because the earth moved. Baiae asks a question that every great civilization eventually faces. What happens when the ground you built everything on stops holding you up? And here is a question for you. If you could explore one lost ancient city anywhere in the world, which would you choose? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Baiae is still down there right now. 6 meters beneath the Gulf of Naples, the statues still standing, the mosaics still intact, the streets still paved, and somewhere beneath it all, the Campi Flegrei is still moving, still building, still waiting. If this video pulled you in, the next one is right here. Subscribe to Curiosity Vault so you never miss what's in the vault. I'll see you next time.